Could you tell us a bit about yourselves and what you do?
All right. I've been working for 53 years as an actor. I've done all sorts of things: TV, films, radio, voiceovers, theatre, lots of theatre, and I'm what you might call a sort of jobbing actor, I suppose, and still thoroughly enjoying it all this time later. But particularly enjoying working with my son Tom in this piece.
I play the actor in The Woman in Black. Or is it Arthur Kipps?
It's
confusing.
It is confusing. I have the script here. And what are you designated as in the script?
Well, in the script, I'm Kipps, but in the programme, I'm the actor.
Yes. All right, then. I'll go for that.
Yes, so that's what I play in The Woman in Black, currently appearing at the Fortune Theatre in the West End.
What's your favourite part of what you do?
What's the favourite part? I don't know. I don't know that I've got a favourite bit. I think the whole vehicle is really engaging and intriguing because I really enjoy the entire experience rather than a particular bit. And there's a great deal of chance for play and for fun. And also, I think probably the best bit is the scary bits where the audience starts screaming.
That's fun. I think for me, it's more the framing device that Stephen Malatrap put on the play, which is that it's a play within a play. I think that's my favourite bit, which is kind of the whole play. Purely because it's about the mechanics of acting and what you can do in the theatre that you can't do in any other medium. So the fact that we get to be in one reality and the audience think that's what the play is, and then we break it and they realise they were watching something else and now they're watching. So we're constantly playing with the fourth wall, and that's the bit I love most, I think. Because rather than starting a show and thinking, oh, that didn't go very well, but I've got to carry on. With this, it's great because we keep breaking it and changing it, and and if it didn't go very well, then it was meant to because it was a rehearsal on stage in front of the audience. So it's a big, it's very, what's the word? It's a big release, I think, as an actor, to be able to have that freedom on stage. Plus, it's all about using your imagination. And we say that right from the beginning, and we keep telling the audience that. And, it's very old school theatre. The special effects are kind of like 3, 4, 5, maybe 1,000 years old, and it's just storytelling in its purest form.
But I think the way that Stephen Malatrap sort of sucks the audience in, because he says, doesn't he, very early on, what the audience is going to do. I mean, by inference, what they're going to do, and then gradually they're sucked in till hopefully they're there with us. But I think you're quite right. The simplicity of it is the sort of strength and what draws people in.
Yeah.
When was the first moment you fell in love with theatre?
I'll think about that. It's a long time ago. You can answer that one first.
It's just always been there. I think because, obviously Dad's an actor, Mum was an actor as well. And I think, to be fair, probably the first time I fell in love with it was probably going backstage or into someone's dressing room, or just where you realise there's a bit behind what the audience see. There's a whole world behind what happens on stage. I think in terms of iconic moments, one of the big ones was Me and My Girl, actually, going to see that. But also a show called Noises Off that Dad was in the original cast for. And it's the same thing, play within a play. So the show starts and you're watching a play and you think this is it. And then from the back of the auditorium you hear, no, no! And the director comes walking down the aisle and you realise what you thought was real isn't real. And that was a real pivotal moment for me, I think. And one of the reasons I love this show so much is that I get to do the same thing to him.
It does too. I think the first time I fell in love with theatre, a bit of background. I went to rather a posh prep school, which when we moved from the particular area, I was then put to an LCC sync school, although we didn't know it was at the time. And I very quickly lost my posh accent within about 4 or 5 days. And I had to pretend to be lots of things I wasn't. And I never fitted in, really. But at the nativity play, I got to play one of the kings. And I suddenly thought, hey, this is all right, this. And I think possibly then the seed started to germinate. But I was lucky enough to go to a school where there was a very strong dramatic tradition. And I did a lot of school plays. And it sort of sunk in that that's what I was going to do.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Be very, very sure that you want to do this. You want to do theatre. And also, if it hasn't worked after a good try, say 7 years, get out. Have a life.
Is that to yourself or is that to other people?
That's to other people, really, but it would have been to me as well, because I couldn't get a grant to go to drama school. And I thought, if I work for 2 years, I can get an independent grant. And I got into stage management. I worked in stage management, and I was getting tiny parts as an ASM to play. And I thought, I'm going to give this, I'll give it 5 years. And if nothing's really happened, I'll get out. And it did. So I've stayed.
I think I'd say breathe more deeply, be more focused, and keep the faith.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
Well, I've had a whole train ride in to think about.
Finally, if your life were a musical, what would the grand finale number be?
Naughty from Matilda.
Oh my God, I don't know very much about musicals. Nope, that one's Foxley.
It hasn't happened yet.
Well, exactly.
No, I haven't got a finale yet.
Yeah.
I hope.
Submissions welcome. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.